Can you imagine a Porsche 911 that doesn't look like a Porsche 911 at all? In the mid-1960s, a car appeared that still surprises fans of the brand today. Known as the Porsche 911 Roadster by Bertone, it was a unique experiment combining German engineering with Italian design. The project was initiated by American Porsche importer John von Neumann, who dreamed of creating an open-top version of the new 911. Before the factory had time to develop its own convertible model, he decided to build one himself. To do so, he turned to the famous Italian design house Bertone, led by the legendary Nuccio Bertone. The result became one of the most unusual prototypes in Porsche history. In the early 1960s, Porsche was going through an important transition. Production of the Porsche 356 was coming to an end, while the completely new Porsche 911 was entering the market. The problem was that when the 356 disappeared, so did its popular open-top versions, such as the Speedster and Cabriolet. American customers, especially in California, loved driving sporty convertibles. Von Neumann believed the new 911 should also have an open version as soon as possible. Porsche was already working on the Porsche 911 Targa, but its distinctive roll bar and removable roof panel did not convince everyone. Von Neumann therefore decided to create a true roadster based on the new 911. To realize his idea, von Neumann acquired a bare 911 chassis directly from Porsche. He then contacted Bertone and asked the Italian designers to create a completely new body for the car. Their task was to design a vehicle aimed mainly at American customers. However, they had no intention of copying the styling of the German coupe. Instead, they created an entirely new body shape that was much more Italian in character. The project was completed in just a few months so that it could debut at the prestigious Geneva Motor Show in 1966. The result was an elegant roadster with very clean lines and proportions more reminiscent of Italian sports cars than a traditional Porsche. Stylistically, the car barely resembled the standard 911. In fact, many observers would never have guessed that a German chassis was hiding beneath the body. The Bertone designers even managed to disguise the fact that the engine was mounted at the rear. The only clue was a pair of small air intakes located on the sides of the body. The front of the car featured hidden pop-up headlights, which were extremely fashionable at the time. The interior also differed significantly from that of a standard Porsche. Instead of the typical instrument cluster placed in front of the driver, the gauges were arranged vertically in the center console. The cockpit was completed with specially designed leather seats and elegant interior trim. Technically, the car was based on the standard mid-1960s Porsche 911 platform. Under the rear deck lid was an air-cooled 2-liter flat-six engine. This unit, known as Type 901, produced around 130 horsepower at 6,100 revolutions per minute. The engine used a single overhead camshaft for each cylinder bank and 2 Solex carburetors. Power was sent to the rear wheels through a 5-speed manual gearbox known as the Type 901 transmission. In later years, the prototype received a more powerful engine from the 911S, which increased output to about 160 horsepower. The car was relatively light for its time. According to figures provided by Bertone, the Roadster weighed around 1,050 kilograms. This allowed it to deliver respectable performance. The top speed was estimated at about 220 kilometers per hour. While it was not the fastest sports car of the era, its main appeal was the combination of stylish open-top motoring and Porsche's distinctive flat-six engine. The car was fully functional, although due to the limited time before its debut, the designers did not manage to develop a complete folding soft-top roof. The prototype was unveiled to the public in 1966 at the Geneva Motor Show. The car attracted considerable attention from visitors and was praised for its elegant design. However, the reaction from Porsche management was far more reserved. The company already had its own plans for the 911 Targa and was not convinced about putting a car with completely different styling into production. In addition, The project would have required reinforcing the chassis and further investment. As a result, the idea of production was ultimately abandoned. Price was another significant issue. The production version of the Roadster was estimated to cost around $8,000, which was a very high amount in the second half of the 1960s. By comparison, the newly introduced 911 Targa cost about $6,000 in the United States. That represented a difference of nearly 30%. Even wealthy Porsche customers found it difficult to justify paying so much more for a car with an uncertain future. As a result, no orders were placed, and the project ended at the prototype stage. In total, only a single example of the Bertone-designed Porsche 911 was ever built. The car remained the property of John von Neumann, who after the Geneva show first took it to his residence in Switzerland and later shipped it to California. Over the following years, the car changed owners several times. During one restoration, it received the more powerful 911S engine and new wheels. The unique Roadster occasionally appeared at exhibitions and in private collections, allowing its unusual story to survive. Today, the one-off Porsche 911 Bertone is considered one of the most fascinating prototypes in the brand's history. Because of its uniqueness and intriguing background, it commands extremely high prices at auctions. In 2018, the car was sold for about $1.4 million. Earlier estimates had valued it between $700,000 and $1 million. Today its price could be even higher, as collectors increasingly appreciate rare projects that combine different design philosophies. The Porsche 911 Bertone therefore remains a remarkable symbol of the meeting between Italian stylistic imagination and German engineering.